Fabrizio Romano, Andrea Berta, and Arsenal just a matter of time before the announcement. He already signed in 20 days ago as new director at the club. So when are we going to get official confirmation then, people? Smash the like button. What can Arsenal fans expect from sporting director Berta? I don't know, man. Maybe, when we don't get our first choice targets, if we don't get our first choice targets, allegedly the Isaks, the Zubamendis, not even Gyökeres, the Isaks, the Zubamendis, the Garcias, these kind of guys of this world. Can we pivot? Can he do us a favor in terms of outgoings? Last season was a kind of moving into that positive direction. As angry as I am about, for what I feel was a missed opportunity last summer with the signings we brought in. Love Calafiori, but you're being kept out of the team by Lewis Skelly, so you're not a level raiser at this moment in time. Mikel Marino, big him up, but by default, he's playing up front, not a level raiser or someone that really challenges or partners a Declan Rice or provides competition. Provides depth, of course, but we did need level raisers. Raheem Sterling and Neto, the less said, the better. So can we do well in terms of outgoings? Can we get some level raisers? And then obviously the Salibas, the Gabriel Magalhaes, the Bukayo Sakas of this world. He's got a great reputation, 13 years at Atletico Madrid. We're all up to speed with what he's done there and the work he's done in terms of recruitment. As much as I like his experience, love the fact that he's learning English, I actually love the fact that he's not attached to the club, if that makes sense. Like, he's not a former player. He hasn't been like a Jason Ito where he's come up through the rankings. So maybe he can provide a new perspective. He's not tied emotionally. And I hope he's given the reins to kind of do his thing. I'm not naive to expect one man to change things. And I know the conditions are different, but we've had Miss Lintat, who was the Diamond Eyes. Raul Sanye, who equally had a good reputation. We have to see what Berta's doing. And I have to wonder, bearing in mind Edu left in November, Berta's joining in March, or he has signed in March/February. How much of the building blocks has been put into our market plans for this upcoming summer? Is he able to change that, or is it a thing where he just needs to, if negotiations for whatever players are already going on, does he need to dot I's and cross T's and focus on outgoings? I think next year will be where I really start to judge what Berta is doing. Don't get it twisted. We need Berta, Mikel Arteta, the Tim Lewises, everybody connected at this football club, the Cronkies. Everybody needs to get the summer right, because I do feel like I'm repeating myself, but we've got no choice. We do need to have an important summer. We're hearing raw chest and this and that. Just show and prove us. If you want a striker, go out and get that. Striker, left winger, centre mid have to be priority. I would extend that to left back as well. I believe in Miles Lewis Skelly and I like Calafiori. I just think we could do with another option. Any injuries or something there, probably need to move Timber there. Tierney's going, Kivio subject to speculation. I'd imagine Berta already knows what the future holds for Zinchenko, who will have a year left. Tomiyasu isn't playing until December at best. So we do have depth in there, but when you break it down, we really don't. As I said, we need to sort out the goalies. I do think we need quality and quantity, and I do think that needs to be married together. But yeah, man, Semi Moltbell has said Andrea Berta is expected to arrive in the UK before the start of next week as Arsenal prepare to confirm his appointment as their new sporting director. The Italian has been in advanced discussions over becoming the permanent successor to Edu, who left the Emirates Stadium towards the end of 2024. As you know, Jason Ito has been in the interim in that kind of role. We were linked with Alabi and Dan Ashworth and all of these guys. Time has moved on, and it seems that, it is a case of the Italian Berta is going to be the job. Can you leverage the Italian market? Can you leverage the Spanish market? Can we start to find, I would say the emerging stars? Now, I get it, Arsenal fans. We're in win now mode. When you're flirting with crossing over into being Premier League champions and aspiring to win the Champions League, and definitely where the domestic league and FA Cups are concerned, we need to do a bit better. We need players for now that as soon as they sign for us, they're right now. But then, again, I'm just going to say some random names, what the Kuduses, the Cunhas, the Isaks, these kind of players that you either take a chance on 2 or a year before. When they end up where they end up, you have to pay the premium. And we're not going to see the Declan Rice fee too often. So do we have to concede the Hugo Ekitikes, the Seskos, the Nico Williams has a release clause, but he's going to be on big wages? Do you get these guys or take a chance on these players of what they are right now and how they can help us in the short and medium term but also how they can grow in the long term. I'm not saying I want that, but you know, you look at what Saka's done from being immersion into the first team to where he is now, when we brought Odegaard to where he is now, to for all the criticisms, from what Gabriel Magalhaes was when he first signed for this football club to now, it's been a bit different. But Saliba, we've kind of trained up, quote unquote, these players. So even Benjamin White to a slight degree. So of course I want level raisers. I want smart additions like Timber, where they're clearly good players and they fit into what we're doing and they can get better. Obviously, the academy players with Wanyeri and Lewis Skelly, it does feel like whether it's the big transfer fees or the ones that were kind of, you know, you're kind of questioning why the club went for them. We kind of need to eradicate that. I don't think Marino's a bad player and he provides depth, but could that 30 million have been spent elsewhere? I think for Kai Havertz personally at Arsenal Football Club, for him, like Kai Havertz as a person, I think you've done well. I'd rate for Kai Havertz himself, I'd probably rate it a 9 out of 10 for himself. He didn't put himself on them wages. He didn't spend 65 million on himself. He did not plan to make him the Xhaka replacement, nor did he put him up front. But he has become one of our most reliable players and squad players. I might not think he's the guy, but that's the reality. Look at the consistency he's showing. That's probably in line with the issues. Now, for Arsenal personally, I think it's a 5 out of 10 because while, you know, it started terribly for Kai Havertz and he was kind of written off. He's obviously established himself to some degree. He's pulled his weight a lot more than the attackers. But if you go and sign a striker or a centre midfielder, is Kai Havertz in the starting lineup? Of course, he's part of the rotation. Some people would move him on. Where are these offers? Are you going to give Arsenal anything close to 65 million without speaking about Kai Havertz's wages, which obviously where you look at potential players that come in, the big three at our football club whose contracts are running down, you still have to, you know, Gabriel Jesus ain't going anywhere for at least a year. How much does that factor in what we're able to do or not? And subsequently, how much has that affected things? I don't know, people. Let me know your thoughts as well as smashing the like button. So yeah, man, apparently it's expected Berta will become the club's new sporting director, with Arsenal now working towards official announcement. The Italian is due to arrive in North London in the next 72 hours to officially begin work with the Gunners. So you would imagine we either see confirmation over the weekend, if not today, Friday, at the time of making this, or, you know, on Monday, because Mikel Arteta is going to have his press conference. He's definitely going to be asked about Bukayo Saka. He's going to be asked about Berta. Ironically, keeping up the theme with Italians, you would imagine his fellow Italian, Calafiori, picked up a knock, you know, Berta's fellow Italian, picked up a knock during the international break. You'd imagine Arteta, if he wants to, because he's quite coy on injuries, is going to offer some sort of thing in that. And then obviously, you know, we've got Fulham, we've got, I believe, Everton next weekend, and then you got the big one, well, the first of a two-legged tie against Real Madrid. So got it all to do, man. Apparently there is hope he'll be present for the Premier League game against Fulham. The 53-year-old arrives with the reputation of being one of the most equipped sporting directors in European football. He's held roles at Parma and Genoa before obviously making a name. I wouldn't say making a name, but Atletico Madrid is probably, you know, where he's made his name in the widest scope of football. He did help bring in Rodri, Anton Griezmann, and Oblak. And if we could get players like that, fair play, man. And again, you look at what he's done. You know, he was there 13 years, helped them win, or in his own part, helped them win a Copa del Rey, a Europa League, a UEFA Super Cup, 2 La Liga titles, which is no easy feat at all, where you've got Real Madrid and Barcelona. So yeah, apparently he's got key connections with Mendes and Peter Kenyon. So he's experienced. He has a decent phone book. Make it happen, man. Make it happen. And obviously, there's been some flops. Ironically, when they bought Torreira, they must have worked with us in some degree, people. In total, he's made 52 signings since 2017, spending around 828 million euros, in brackets 692 million, leaving a big mark on Atletico's squad. And you look at their best selected attacking signings, João Felix didn't work, probably with how Simeone is a defensive-minded coach and you've got an attacking player, it didn't work. But these signings all had relative success. You know, in terms of what I look at when I see Atletico Madrid and Conor Gallagher, he fits them like a glove. So that made sense. Alvarez obviously been a good addition. You know, they bought Griezmann, then sold him, then got him back on the cheap. Cunha didn't really work out, but I'm sure they might have made a profit there. Luis Suarez was considered damaged goods by Barcelona, helped Atletico Madrid win a La Liga title. So yeah, man, and we don't need to read this to know our to-do list. We know we need a striker. We know we need a centre mid. We know we need a left winger. We know we need to sort out the goalkeeping situation, second and third choice. We know we probably need a left back, and we know we need to renew deals, and we know we need to get some players flogged on. Now, I'm not expecting us to do all the business and get rid of everybody, but Trossard and Zinchenko got a year left on their deals come the summer. A decision has to be made there. I don't know if a decision hasn't been made on the Jorginhos or Partes of this world in terms of next summer. If Tomiyasu and Gabriel Jesus cannot change their luck here, the writing is on the wall. And, the big three need new deals. Wanyeri and Lewis Skelly need new deals. So there's a lot to do, people. And we're linked with several people, man. Again, where Arsenal's transfer news is concerned, you will always see Isak, as impossible as that probably is, the Cescos of this world, yada, 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 people. Arsenal open talks for Eintracht Frankfurt striker Hugo Ekitike. That's been peddled this week, as you guys know, people. Arsenal were among the clubs who had scouts in attendance to watch him, where he scored a hat-trick for France against England's under-21s. Liverpool, who you could argue need a forward, and Newcastle, whether they're going to have an Isak replacement or someone that offers something in the squad, have been linked with strikers. They were also present, people. Arsenal allegedly have initiated preliminary discussions to sign the 22-year-old. Apparently, Leipzig's Benjamin Sesko remains a key target, as well as Isak and Gyökeres. Arsenal have now joined Man United in the race to sign Hugo Ekitike, who could cost 60 million this upcoming summer. Everybody's being linked with the same players: Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea, Newcastle. For various degrees, everybody needs a forward, so everybody's names are being thrown in. This says, as you can see, Liverpool will rival us for the Eintracht Frankfurt striker. We have heard this week, no clue on the credibility of the source, but Arsenal have had a formal meeting with Gyökeres' agent, who allegedly is a close friend of Mikel Arteta. Apparently, Gyökeres will be allowed to leave Sporting this summer if a team offers a transfer fee in the region of 50.2 million to 58.5 million. Would you not spend that on him? Do you think he's worth it? Do you have concerns about the jump from the Portuguese league to the Premier League? Let me know you guys' thoughts, people. Liverpool are ready to break their transfer record to sign Alexander Isak, people, and they're prepared to offer Joe Gomez, Kwanzaa, Harvey Elliott, and Ben Dorkin potential swap deals to bring the price down. Not too sure if that makes sense. Not too sure if this makes sense because of the source, as well as me being pessimistic on Isak. Alexander Isak allegedly has snubbed interest from Barcelona, Chelsea, and Liverpool to choose Arsenal as his preferred destination. I mean, I think this is BS. But, if you want to wear the number 14, you want to link up with Marino, potentially Zubimendi, if that hasn't been hijacked, and the whole Spanish connection we've got, and you want to wear the number 14, is that we're happy to have you, man. Let's get this done before a man changes his mind. Unfortunately, I don't believe it. Continuing the striker stuff, the chances of Benjamin Sesko staying at Leipzig next season are very slim, according to Blind, people. He has a release clause that is worth 70 million, and it could rise to 80 million euros by the end of the season. He has a contract until 2029. Despite being very inconsistent on the pitch, many Arsenal fans will hear that and run away, won't they, people? Sesko feels like he's ready to take the next step in his career. The one condition that could potentially keep the 21-year-old at the club is if Leipzig qualify for the Champions League. So let's just assume, that for whatever reason, Gyökeres goes somewhere else. Isak is impossible, but it's confirmed that it's impossible. Sesko stays put. Hugo Ekitike goes somewhere else. We need to be able to pivot because we tried and there's no player on the market. I don't want to hear that, if I'm honest. We've known for the last 2-3 years we've needed a forward. We've needed another wide man, probably on the left, but someone that can deputize for Saka. And obviously, with Wanyeri able to play 10, 8, Arteta's even said up front, but probably in the interim term, right wing and Odegaard's role at a secondary. You've got that. You've got Wanyeri coming through. You buy a Nico Williams. I think we're kind of sorted out wide, with Saka and all of these kind of things. Clearly need a number 9. Clearly need a number 9. It's actually scandalous if we don't sign 2 attackers. And I think as much as I feel the striker is the most important, and I've been fighting the case of the left winger, central midfield, you got Rice playing in the 8, which provides talking points of his own. Odegaard's there. I know the form's on the floor and there's question marks about Rice in the 8 positively and negatively. But if that's what we're going to do, then you've got 2 pieces to a 3-man puzzle. On paper, Jorginho is going. Partey is probably our more all-rounded player in the pivot. I know there's question marks about his athleticism, but, he's probably the guy out of all, Jorginho, Declan Rice and whoever that's got everything about him. And it's a bit annoying that his contract is running down. Now we know we need to replace him. When we go back to the summer, ironically, we signed Kai Havertz and Declan Rice. I think we should have signed the younger Partey prodigy. As I was saying at the time in my videos, like I wanted Lavia. I'm not saying that that would have been the answer. I'm just painting a picture in it. So yeah, people, we have to be able to pivot. The striker has attracted interest from the Premier League. Arsenal, Manchester United, AC Milan have all been credited with over a year being interested in him, as well as Bayern Munich. You know, Bayern Munich have been linked with Gyökeres and Sesko. Kane's not going to be there forever. There's rumours he wants to return to the Premier League. Should we try that? A move to Bayern is almost ruled out, as he does not want to play as a backup to Harry Kane and wants a guarantee of playing time. For that to be possible, Bayern would need to change their formation or sell Kane. As of right now, Sesko is currently focused on trying to qualify for the Champions League with Leipzig. Zubimendi, there's been some hijack rumours and whatnot. Dharma Sheffer said, I'd say that Martin Zubimendi to Arsenal is almost definitely going to happen. When you look back now to the summer transfer window, Liverpool were all set to sign him and there was a late change of heart. Was there a late intervention by Arsenal? If it was him who changed his mind in the last minute and you just wonder whether Arsenal had to come in and said, look, we can't bring you in now, but we desperately want you. Mikel Arteta knows him very well, and maybe he just thought, I'll just bide my time for the time being. I actually want to go to Arsenal. We'll have to see. More credible, David Ornstein has said, without wanting to discredit the reporting of others, I personally haven't heard this in relation to Real Madrid. Arsenal expecting Zubimendi to join in the summer. Expectation and reality are very different, though. I don't know if that means it's completely done, but for some time now, they've been working on the basis that he'll be coming in, and a huge amount of work went into getting them to that point. While Edu was still in position, and subsequently when Jason Aito took over on an interim basis, Berta will be starting soon as Edu's permanent successor, so we will hopefully learn a bit more on that and other areas in due course, people. So yeah, we've gone over that with Martin Zubimendi. If we go back over there, apparently Isak's rejected Newcastle's opening offer. Now that headline sounds sensational. When have you seen, especially, it's one thing, you know, being 30 odd and all of that kind of stuff, but you gotta remember football's a job. When has a footballer accepted, I assume, the first contract offer Newcastle have presented to him? I understand he's someone that everybody would want. He's doing amazing and whatnot. He's got 3 years left on his deal. Newcastle, if they hold on to these players and marrying more quality with a great coach in Eddie Howe, the sky is the limit. They've got great owners, probably having to tiptoe around PSR and whatnot. If I'm Isak, I'm playing everyone against each other. I wouldn't be against necessarily moving to Arsenal with all the other stuff. Bit of bias with what I'm saying, but I wouldn't be against that. I wouldn't be against renewing at Newcastle. I wouldn't be against all the other clubs, but I want to be paid top money. And if I'm Isak, the longer it takes to sign a new deal, the more Newcastle get a bit nervy kind of thing. And you've got 3 years left. And also Newcastle, we've heard rumors that, you know, they obviously parked off contract talks until the end of the season because now's not the time. If I'm Isak, I'm playing Arsenal when all these teams' interest off Newcastle to get the money I deserve. I maybe want a release clause so that if I ever want to try a new experience somewhere else, I can do it. I might be considering that if all these clubs sign a striker and I keep doing what I'm doing, I could still get that move, but it might be potentially ruled out. But good players always going to be wanted. I'll be very wary. To be fair, I don't think Isak is leaving, but through being on the other side in kind of this journalism game, the more tier one Newcastle journalists, they're not going to say at this moment in time he's available, even if they thought it was, people. I do think he's more available than reports suggest, but I don't think there's anything in it. I think he stays at Newcastle, and I'm bored of speaking about it, but he's apparently rejected the opening contract offer that's led to a pause in negotiations. The report states that this is far from an encouraging response from Isak as far as Newcastle are concerned, and has given rise to fears that this could be his final season at St. James's Park. I mean, you got to remember, this is a business. If I'm him, the striker market is dead. Newcastle did their due diligence, spent a lot of money on him, and they're reaping the benefits, but the striker market is dead. Good players always wanted. People always want to level up their careers. I want to get the most money I could potentially can. Maybe if I ever want to leave Newcastle, maybe even nothing to do with Newcastle, I have an exit path there. It's within his best interest to do that, people. It is further asserted that this revelation has put Arsenal and Liverpool allegedly on red alert. The the outlet adds that Viktor Gyökeres is being eyed as a potential replacement. You see what I said? It's a merry-go-round. Everybody's being linked with the same old players in that regards, people. Arsenal are fairly cautious in the 2024 summer transfer window, but they're expected to back Mikel Arteta with several big money signings this time around. Kind of the war chest rhetoric. So 5 players who could join Arsenal. Let's see if there's anyone new. Nico Williams, we're forever linked with him. This is said that a move to the Emirates Stadium is on the cards, although Arsenal will need to convince Williams to leave his beloved athletic club in order to finalise a transfer. So it's not really on the cards then, is it really? Barcelona are keeping tabs. I mean, everybody's linked with Nico Williams, people. Martin Zubamendi, we've gone over that. Sesko, we've been linked with him for a while now. Nepanov, Rosenberg, we've been apparently spoken to him. Apparently, he's agreed personal terms. We have heard this for a while. But again, Liverpool, Spurs, Aston Villa have all been linked. Juan Garcia of Espanyol, apparently we want him, and there's a lot of clubs that are also interested. Allegedly, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, and Manchester United, as well as us. So we're going to have to monitor that closely. Again, people, apparently it's going to take 150 million to sign Isak. Sesko is more of a feasible target, but everybody's interested in him. So we have been linked with Vlahovic. He's a name that will be familiar to Arsenal and Arsenal fans, having heavily pursued him prior to his move to Juventus. Obviously, his contract's running down. Juventus, especially if they miss out on Champions League football, have to cash in. Financially, they need to balance the books. His deal is running down. I believe he's the top earner at Serie A, in Serie A as well. He's only hit 9 goals this season for Juventus, people. But with Sesko having netted just one more in the Bundesliga, Arsenal will decide whether the 21-year-old is worth the potential 70 million euros outlay, and if he can be the long-term answer to their goal-scoring woes. Despite interest from a number of Premier League rivals, including Chelsea, Arsenal hope their sporting prospects combined with Sesko, with Vlahovic playing an integral role under Arteta, could prove decisive. So there's hella striker links, people. Again, apparently Real Madrid have changed their mind on Saliba. I mean, I'd be wary because next season is a World Cup year. Obviously, he's contracted until 2027. Real Madrid have shown in the case of Mbappe, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Rudiger, that they will be patient and coy and pick up free transfers. As long as Saliba keeps doing what he's doing, and obviously he's previously spoken about being happy at the club, Real Madrid are not going anywhere anytime soon. And they've got Rudiger, Alaba, these Vasquez. These defensive ranks can't be there forever. So yeah, and also there's been times you've seen them have to play makeshift people in positions. Tchouaméni and Camavinga have played in defense. So I would be very wary about thinking Saliba can't go Real Madrid, and it's ironically we're playing Real Madrid this year. How much money do you lot want to bet? Smash the like button that Real Madrid get Liverpool in the Champions League at some point next year. Arsenal will take a step towards Nico Williams when the club's new sporting director is confirmed. I mean, you'd imagine indirect work is starting already. You'd imagine Berta has been briefed on what we're trying to do and what's already in place. But I understand once it's obviously, I think he's working in an official capacity already. But once it's been confirmed to us normal fans, maybe the work starts. Again, I was just reading about Berta. I won't bore you lot with that. Is there anything here? Let's keep moving, man. Let's just keep moving, really. What's this? A mix of Mbappe and Neymar. Ollie Watkins. I don't know about a mix of that, but shout out to him same way, people. Arsenal be looking to sign a backup goalie, as we know. David Ornstein has said, yes, Arsenal have done a lot of work on Garcia because Mikel Arteta wants him as number 2 to Raya. And for what we hear, Garcia would be open to joining. But I don't know of anything being close. And until that happens, it's still open and we face competition, man. It makes you wish that you got it over the line last year. Maybe this could be a boost, people. The game's gone mad. Football's gone woke. Allegedly, UEFA have appointed an ethics and disciplinary inspector to investigate alleged indecent conduct by Rudiger, Mbappe, Vinicius, and Ceballos, believed to be sent on gestures made by players towards Atletico supporters. Football's gone mad. You can't do shithousery. Does make you wonder for the Real Madrid thing, because you've got Courtois that's about 9 foot. You got Rudiger that's on the dark arts thing. How much of what we say about scumbagging ourselves past this round can we do against this? I mean, I'm scared of Real Madrid anyways, and Rudiger anyways, and this doesn't cure my woes. Jonathan David, Arsenal have been linked with him prior, but Newcastle apparently have joined the Premier League 6-way race to sign Jonathan David. What clubs have been credited? Liverpool, Chelsea, Spurs, West Ham, Manchester United. Everybody's interested in everyone, but that correlating to bids is completely different. You would have seen Saka back in training, people. Apparently, Bukayo Saka could be named in the squad to face Fulham in the Premier League next week. We all know he's been out since December. He got a hamstring tear in the win against Crystal Palace. He does need surgery. The recovery schedule allegedly has gone to plan, and he's now back in full training. Arsenal are continuing to be cautious with his return and will make a decision closer to Tuesday's match. So you'd imagine if there's training on Friday, today, or Saturday or Sunday, and then the match day squad, they'll play it by ear. Just because he's like, I could see it as a thing, like he might be in the match day squad against Fulham, he might get a 10-15 minutes, but he might equally just spend time on the bench, get, let's just say on the bench, doesn't play, but in the squad against Fulham, gets a couple more days kind of training, plays against Everton, which I hope we have Everton on Saturday, or whoever we got on the Saturday following the game next Tuesday against Fulham. And then obviously Real Madrid, I don't even think he starts in that. I don't even think it's guaranteed and whatnot. We're going to have to be cautious, people. Barring any unexpected delay, the England attacker should be available to face Real Madrid. I wonder, I mean, if he's been passed off fit, he's been passed off fit. So I don't want to exaggerate. But me personally, naturally, I'm going to be nervous in it, because does Saka need saving from himself? It's Real Madrid. It's what you prayed to be a part of. He's our poster boy. He's come a long way from when he was shining for us at left back. He's still shining for us, and we're going to need him. But how much, like, is he 99.9% fit? I don't know. So we'll have to see. Last week, apparently, it was reported Arsenal was set to open formal contract talks with Saka, who's entering the final 2 years of his deal, people. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens, man. Smash the like button and all of that.